So on behalf of the cast, as well as our Valley Players board, we'd like to welcome you and thank you for coming to Jeannie Beckwith's A Life-Altering Event. This is our fourth presentation in our Theater at Home series that has been organized by our board member, Ruth Ann Pattee, who is tonight's Zoom technician and stage manager, and she is also the one that invited this guy. But she's been great to bring all this theater into our home. The other three shows can still be viewed at your leisure by clicking on the links on our website, and they will get you to our YouTube page. As you notice, there's no entrance fee for tonight's performance, but if you would like to make a donation, typical ticket cost for a play is $12. So if you'd like to, there's going to be a link in the chat near the end of the show. Or you could go to our website and there's a big donate button right there on that home page. Your best viewing experience for this event is going to be a full screen. So if you don't have your screen set to full, then you should do that now. Also, the directions that you saw earlier, you're going to want gallery view. Okay. Please keep your audio and your video off. If your video pops on, you don't know what we're going to do with an unexpected cast member. You just never know. There will be a 5-minute intermission. Feel free to help yourselves to some snacks in your pantry or your refrigerator. If you should need to use the restroom during the show, just go ahead, because we'll have no idea that that's what you're doing. I presume that you know where your own emergency exits are. Great. So we are going to be recording tonight's show, just so you're aware. It won't affect anything at your end. Throughout the performance, you will see a notification at the top of your screen that tells you you are viewing the Valley Players computer screen. That is a good thing. That's Ruth Ann at work. During the scene changes, you might notice your own name pop up. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. It's not anything you did. It's only if we don't get our timing perfect. No one else is going to see that, just you. Each person's going to see their own name. This is still live theater, and with an added element of the fickleness of the internet. So if we happen to run into any internet issues, you don't need to panic. Leave the panicking to us. We'll take care of that part, and we will figure it out. So it's time to get on with the show. So sit back and enjoy.
Looking out at the road, rushing under my wheels. I don't know how to tell you all just how crazy this life feels.
Dan? Are you home? Dan?
I'm in here.
What are you doing home? I didn't see the car, but then I saw your... What's wrong?
Wrong?
My God, why is your shirt torn? You look like hell.
I do?
Where's the car?
I don't know. I forgot to ask. The cops will know.
Oh my God. What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
Something's wrong. Tell me.
I had an accident.
Where? How?
It wasn't my fault.
Tell me what happened.
I'm not sure I know. I was driving along the Lingway and I was thinking about the gig tomorrow night and what I was going to play, and this van came out of nowhere. He swerved into my lane or something.
A van? What kind of van?
I don't know. It was just a van. I'm pretty sure it was a van.
How bad's the car?
It's bad.
How bad?
They said it was probably totaled.
Jeez. Are you hurt?
It wasn't my fault. I don't think it was my fault.
Are you hurt?
That's the thing.
What's the thing?
I should be dead.
What are you talking about?
You should see the car. The EMTs had to use the jaws of life to get me out. I guess that's one reason why the car's totaled. The jaws of life. That's what they call them.
Are you sure you're not hurt? Did you hit your head? Did they take you to the hospital?
The airbags popped out. They're there all the time. You know, a person never thinks about them, and there they are. They're saving your life. We should pay more attention to things like that.
I think we better take you to the hospital.
My shirt got torn when they were cutting me out. It was crazy. They had the stretcher at first, but the EMTs, they couldn't find a scratch on me.
Was anyone else hurt? What happened to the van? What about the other driver?
I don't know. The ambulance was there. I was just too busy not being dead.
We should find out. The police will know. Did you get names? Did you get their insurance?
Names?
Oh, Jesus. Why didn't you call me? How did you get home?
One of the cops dropped me off. I gave somebody my insurance information. He helped me fill out the accident report. I remember doing that. There's a copy in my coat pocket. They said to come by the station on Monday, and they didn't say what station, but I mean, the cop gave me his card.
You don't sound right.
Yeah, who knew cops had cards?
Are you sure you're okay? Maybe you should have gone to the hospital.
We should care more about cops. We take them for granted unless they give us a ticket or somebody gets killed. We don't care about them at all. And now I've got this guy's card. It just makes you think.
We should go now.
No, I'm not going to the hospital. I don't want to go to the hospital. I just need to process this. You understand, Jude? I should be dead.
Thank God you're not. Oh, Keith and Bonnie are coming over tonight. God, I suppose you should call and cancel.
Who?
You remember Keith and Bonnie from Jason's party? They're a little bit younger. Well, a lot younger. We asked them over.
I didn't ask them over.
I did. You were standing there with me.
Well, tell them not to come. I don't think I want to talk to anybody.
What do you mean you want to talk to anyone? You're talking to me.
I have to talk to you.
Thanks a lot.
I just can't get over it, you know? I should be dead.
You were lucky.
It's more to it than that, Jude.
What? You think God saved your life?
Something did. God or something cosmic. Wanted me alive for a reason.
Listen, I think you better get over yourself and go take a hot shower. Whether God has plans for you or not, you're going to be sore. I still think you should go to the hospital.
I've got a gig in Gloucester tomorrow night. That's Saturday night, right? I've got my days right, don't I?
Maybe you should think about canceling.
No, I should be dead.
Will you stop saying that?
Cops said it was a miracle. The EMTs said it. They all said it was a miracle.
Sorry, I don't believe in cosmic plans, and I definitely don't believe in miracles.
No, how do you explain it? I should be dead.
If you don't stop saying that, I'm going to kill you. And then we'll see how that cosmic intervention thing turns out. Oh, I better go call these people or cancel or start getting things ready. I told them it would just be snacks.
No, I should change my life. I should become a better person. It's all kind of been a waste, you know? I've let you down. I've let the kids down. I've let everybody down.
Jesus, not now, Dan. I don't want to hear all this now. Our lives are what they are.
I should have finished college. I shouldn't have dropped out. You should have gone to graduate school like you wanted. What kind of a husband am I? I failed us both.
I don't need soul searching right now. I need you to take a shower or come chop carrots. We'll have to eat something whether they come or not.
People don't know. One minute you're driving along thinking about what you're going to play on Saturday night, and the next minute you could be dead.
I'm pretty sure everybody already knows that, but they don't want to be reminded. Maybe it would be better if Keith and Bonnie didn't come over.
I don't remember who these people are. Who did you say they were?
Bonnie and Keith Shepard. He works for some health group in Chelsea.
In a lifetime, okay? Did you ever think about how many conversations you had with strangers that you'll never remember having? I wasn't even drinking at Jason's party. Wasn't I going in for a blood test the next day? I don't even remember why. It's also strange. I feel so strange. Just tell them not to come.
All right, I'll tell them you almost died and it's throwing you into an existential crisis.
It has.
Go take a shower.
Changes. Turn and face the strange. Changes. Don't wanna be a richer man. Changes. Turn and face the strange. Changes. There's gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't trace time.
You look better. How do you feel?
I feel okay. I'm a little stiff, but it's not bad. What's that for?
It's for Keith and Bonnie. Maybe we'll all be so busy snacking we won't have time for conversation.
You were going to tell them not to come, right?
I couldn't get a hold of them. It went to voicemail.
Well, you could have left a message.
I'm not going to just invite someone to my house in a voicemail they might not get in time.
You don't understand, Jude. I can't explain it, but I feel different. I feel wrong.
Wrong? What the hell does that mean?
I should be dead.
Stop saying that. If you should be dead, you'd be dead. And you're not. So sit down and have a cracker.
I think I better cancel the gig tomorrow. I don't feel like entertaining a bunch of strangers.
They're not strangers. Half of them will be there because they've seen you before. They're like old friends.
I don't even know their names.
You know Keith and Bonnie's names.
Who?
The people who are coming through that door in about 3 minutes. You invited them to come see you on Saturday. They said they'd love to.
Yeah, how does Jason know these people?
I don't know. He met them somewhere, I suppose. He does something with healthcare. She's gotten her teaching license, and she's starting at Saugus High School in the fall. They're nice, and they don't know anybody yet. Well, I mean, I guess you know Jason.
Who moves here?
It's because of her job. Besides, lots of people are moving here. Rents are a little cheaper than in town. There's a beach, for God's sakes.
We should rent.
What do you mean we should rent?
We should sell this place and rent.
You want to sell our house?
We shouldn't be trapped by material objects.
Trapped?
We should look at how we've been living our lives.
I'm living my life just fine, thank you very much. We're 15 years into the mortgage. We have a ton of equity.
You never know what's going to happen. A person should be ready to move at any moment. Owning a house is really tying us down. I feel tied down.
You feel tied down? What the hell do you mean, you feel tied down?
You better get that.
This is not finished.
I just meant, I don't know what I meant.
So, you had no trouble finding us?
No, not at all. It's a nice neighborhood. I haven't been on this side of town much yet.
My Pilates class is on New Ocean Street.
Oh, please sit down. You remember Dan? Say hello to Keith and Bonnie, Dan.
Hello. Can I get you a drink?
Ooh, we've got beer, wine, soda.
Whiskey? I could use a whiskey. You drink whiskey, Keith? I don't drink it often, but tonight I think I'd like to have a whiskey.
No, thanks. Just beer for me. I'm fine with a beer.
Maybe I should get the drinks. You probably shouldn't.
I'll get them, Bon. Bonnie, you want a whiskey?
I'd like a glass of wine, please. White, if you have it.
Are you sure you don't want me to?
I'm fine. Talk with our new friends.
Well, I am so glad you can make it.
I love your house. It's so cozy.
We've been here for a while. It's lived in.
It's lovely. We're renting for now, till we find something we like.
Or can afford.
I'd love a place close to the beach. Of course, there's really no place very far away from the beach, is there?
I can walk there in 15 minutes. I do sometimes. I never feel tied down. How could you feel tied down in a place if you're just a 15-minute walk from the beach?
You couldn't. All that beauty,
Or trapped. I mean, how could you feel trapped?
all that water,
Or unhappy, like you wasted your life?
all that horizon.
Or
All that sand.
Keith hates sand.
Yeah, I'm a Midwesterner. I like my sand and sandbags, holding back the Ohio.
That makes sense. If you lived on the banks of a raging river, you would need protection. You would need stability.
We didn't exactly live on the banks of the Ohio.
The floodwaters could rise at any moment.
Well, I do like it here. It's an easy commute to work, and I just have to leave early enough to avoid the worst of the traffic, but I'm an early riser.
He's an early bird.
Gotta catch those worms.
Worms?
Well, Keith's an early bird.
Worms?
Have a glass of Pinot Grigio, Potty.
My favorite.
Oh, I can't tell the difference. White wine, red wine, it's all just wine to me. Well, this is a nice beer, though. It's local.
Isn't that from the case Mikle brought down from Vermont? Dan has a cousin in Vermont.
Who doesn't?
Well, it's tasty, not too hoppy, but it has a nice bite.
We should have a toast.
To new friends.
How about new places?
To the house you've lived in for 15 years and never want to leave.
I should be dead.
Oh, God.
It's me.
I should be dead.
I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Dan was in a car accident today. He walked away without a scratch, so now he thinks there are mysterious powers at work in the world.
That's not what I think. I just think, I mean, something feels a little bit different.
This is terrible. If we had known, we wouldn't have come.
Oh, we should go.
Yes.
No, please stay. I'd like you to stay.
It's all right. Now, I thought I didn't want to talk to anyone, but I'm thinking now that I need to talk. I need to talk to anyone who's going to listen. I want to call people up that I don't even know and tell them how lucky they are not to be dead.
Don't you dare.
Why not? We walk around this universe, it's just biding its time. Eventually, it's going to kill us all. At any given moment, we're just seconds away from our inevitable death.
We should really go.
Maybe not.
It doesn't seem like this is...
Dan wants to talk about it. We should hear him out. I know how he feels. I almost died once.
You did?
Yeah, I was just a kid, but it leaves a mark, it stays with you. I'm not even sure I knew at the time how sick I was, but I'll always remember my mother's eyes in the hospital.
When was this? You've never told me this.
Well, it's not something you go around talking about.
But you should. That's what I'm saying. What happened?
Had a blood infection, and I was in the hospital for weeks.
Now that I think about it, maybe your mother did say something about this once.
And you almost died?
Yeah, well, that's what they said later. I heard my parents talking about it, but I didn't die. I lived. I remember this one kid, though. He was in the bed next to me. His family used to stand around holding hands and praying. It embarrassed my mother. She would pull the curtains between us, but you could still hear them mumbling. Then the kid disappeared one night. Nobody ever told me where he went, but I'm pretty sure he died. All that praying, and he still died. If my parents prayed, they kept it to themselves, and I lived. You hear all those folks saying God has answered their prayers. I don't think God gives a damn either way. Sorry.
You've never told me any of this.
I don't think I've thought about it in a long time. You don't just talk about things like that.
Well, people need to talk about these things. We need to get it sorted out in our own heads.
I think maybe I came close to dying once, in a way.
God, see what you've started?
I was applying for the Peace Corps. I didn't get my paperwork in on time. My parents kept trying to talk me out of it. They were worried something dreadful was going to happen. In their eyes, Peace Corps workers were being killed all the time. I've always been a little bit sorry that I didn't go, but maybe not going, I didn't get killed. Does that count?
Absolutely. It all counts. Think of all those kids in bad neighborhoods who don't get hit by stray bullets. Think of all the soldiers who actually come home from war. Think of all the trains that never derail.
Oh, I think I'd like that whiskey after all.
I'll go get the bottle.
Today, when the EMTs pulled me out of the wreck, All I could think about was whether my insurance was going to cover everything. If I had died, all that would have been on Judith. How would she be able to deal with it all? Do you think that's what she would think first when someone came and told her I was dead? Whether or not there was enough money to bury me?
That's not the first thing a person thinks of when they get news like that. Well, at least I don't think it's the first thing.
I don't know. The living have to go on. They have to pay their bills. They have to pick out a casket. They have to pay the undertaker. And most people are underinsured.
Are we?
No, we're well covered. I've seen to that.
Yeah, I think I've got some crap ass term policy for the funeral. I've been an asshole. I need to take out more.
More what?
Life insurance.
Why?
I've just got this little policy my parents transferred me to when we got married.
Oh, we've got more than that. I insured you on my plan at work.
You did?
I'm sure I told you. You just weren't listening. There were probably papers you had to sign, but you signed anything I put in front of you.
How much?
300,000, enough to pay off the credit cards and take care of things for a while. Get Rachel and Jack through college.
$300,000?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm worth more dead than I am alive.
If it's any comfort to you, I was going for $500,000, but the premiums were too high.
When did you do all this?
10 years ago when I moved into administration at work.
I'm a stand-up comic and a musician. I work a day job in a stockroom, and I'm worth more dead than I am alive.
You're a comic too? You don't really seem like a comic.
Well, I can be funny.
Just on the day you almost died.
You know, if I ever died under mysterious circumstances, the cops would wonder why you took all that insurance out on me. Maybe I should be worried.
What would they think? That I've been cleverly planning it for over a decade? Biding my time? Believe me, Dan, if I ever kill you, it will be in the heat of the moment. There will be no mystery. And for what it's worth, I'll probably feel very bad about it afterwards.
Probably.
Look, all of this talk about insurance and dying, it's depressing. We should be talking about something cheerful. We were thinking of going to Maine for a few days. Have you been to Maine? I mean, well, of course you've been to Maine. You practically live next door.
Maine is nice. The coast is lovely.
Yeah.
Maine's a death trap. You know how many fishermen die off the coast of Maine each year?
Well, I was planning to stay on dry land, although I was hoping we might take a walk by the sea.
You might slip on some rocks and plunge to an agonizing death. You know, I'm starting to get the hang of all this.
There are a lot of ways to die.
Oh God, please, can we stop talking about this? I don't want to talk about death. Dan, I am so sorry that you almost died. But you should be glad and not freaked out. You should be deciding what to do with your life, not all the ways it could end.
Bonnie.
What? I thought we were just gonna have a nice evening, talking, getting to know each other. You seem like nice people. We don't really know anyone yet, just Jason, and he's Keith's friend. I need someone to go shopping with. I need someone to walk on the beach with. I want friends, not a list of all the terrible things that can happen in the world. I can figure that out for myself.
Bonnie, I am so sorry. Dan, tell Bonnie you're sorry and you're going to stop talking about death.
Well, I didn't mean to upset anyone. I just guess I needed to get it kind of out there.
Well, maybe now you have, and we can talk about something else.
Sure, let's talk about something else. Did you invite someone else?
No. But I should get it.
Someone should.
I will. Maybe it's the Grim Reaper coming to rectify his earlier mistake.
That's not funny.
Actually, that was funny. You have to admit, that was funny.
I don't think Dan is in the mood for jokes.
No, I'm just being an asshole. Keith's right. It was funny. I'll probably steal it from my act if I ever get on stage again.
Of course you'll go on stage again. We're looking forward to it.
Who was it? What did they want?
It's a woman. She wants to talk to you, Dan. She says she found your phone.
My phone? Oh, Christ, my phone. I must have lost it in the crash. Where is it?
She wants to talk to you.
Why?
There's something very odd about her. She says she needs to see you.
Odd how?
Well, maybe you should go talk to her and find out.
Invite her in.
Go talk to her now.
Honey and I can go.
No, stay. This is only going to take a minute.
Are you all right? You look upset.
She wasn't dressed.
What? She's naked?
No, I mean, I think she only has on a nightgown underneath her coat and house slippers. Fuzzy house slippers. She's got a shopping bag crammed with stuff. She could be homeless, but the slippers look fairly new. I don't know, but she wouldn't give me the phone. She just kept saying she needed to talk to Dan.
And you're sure you don't know her?
I've never seen her before in my life.
How did she find Dan's phone? Did she say?
No, she just stood there clutching her bosom. I mean, did I just say bosom? I've never said the word bosom in a lot of my life. I've only ever seen it written in books.
Dan's taking his time out there. You sure he doesn't know her?
All she said was that she found the phone, and now she's found Dan, and she needed to tell him something important.
Was she old? Oldish? Older? Older people get fixated on things. God, my mother gets a hold of something and you can't shake her loose, and she isn't even that old yet.
Oh, come in. Let me get you something. Judith, can you get another glass for it's Miss Lowe, isn't it? This is Mary Lowe, everyone. You sit right here, Mary. Judith, please, a glass?
Sure, I'll get a glass. Of course, I'll get a glass. What kind? Wine or whiskey?
Wine or whiskey, Mary?
Oh, I take a sip of whiskey if you have it.
Whiskey, Judith. She'd like a little whiskey.
Of course she would.
We've got a whole bottle here, almost a whole bottle.
Oh, you're having a party?
No, just a couple friends came by.
Know each other?
Yes.
No. Well, not exactly. Tell them how you found my phone, Mary.
Phone. Oh, yes, the phone. It was with my Mikle's things. It was in the plastic bag with Mikle's things.
Mikle.
That's just it, Judah. Her husband, Mikle, the man who was driving the van.
The van? The van that hit you? Oh my God, is he all right?
No, he's not all right.
Is he?
Yeah, yes, he is.
And she came here. Her husband died, and she's here.
Your husband died, didn't he, Mary? That's what you just told me?
Yes. Officer Dolan came to the house and told me. I think his name was Dolan. I have his card somewhere. Well, anyway. He said that Mikle had had a terrible accident. I didn't understand at first. Well, how could I? I thought Mikle had just gone out for one of his drives. But the policeman insisted, and then he offered to drive me to the hospital. So we
Mary
got to the
doesn't drive.
hospital. You're right. But Mikle wasn't there anymore. Well, his body was, but his earthly remains. Isn't that what you call them? Earthly remains? I don't know. All I know is that Mikle had gone. The doctor came and talked to me, and then I went to make sure it was Mikle, and they hadn't made some terrible mistake. But it was Mikle, all right. He always had that little scar on his chin.
My God, how awful for you.
You were alone? Wasn't there anyone to be with you?
Well, I had the nice policeman and the nurse who gave me Mikle's things. So we turned around and came home. The policeman made me promise to call someone, but I didn't have anyone to call. So I just sat there looking at Mikle's things. And that's when I noticed that the phone in the bag wasn't his. Well, Mikle never carried a phone with him. You never know who's tracking you. That's what Mikle always says. Oh, I got to wondering whose it was. And then I remembered to check the accident report the policeman gave me, and it said the other driver was you. And it had your address. So I called a cab so I could bring it to you. Well, it had to be your phone, didn't it? Who else's phone could it be?
You could have called and told us. The phone could have waited. We don't need the phone. Where's your family? Why are you on your own?
You shouldn't be alone.
That isn't right. Who's your closest relative?
It's just Mikle and me. Now Michael's gone. The policeman left me his card, but, well, I couldn't call him, could I? He just left. I thought about calling the hospital, but what would I say? I still don't know where to have them send the body. They asked me where to send it when they were done with it, and I said home. But they said they couldn't do that, so I thought I'd better think about it. But now I had the phone to worry about. I know you young people need your phones, and you know things. You know where to send a body.
I don't think
It's all right. It's all right. You did the right thing.
There has to be somebody we can call. A neighbor?
He shouldn't have died.
What?
The doctor said he shouldn't have died. That's why they need the autopsy.
Mm.
Autopsy?
Yeah, it sounds reasonable. An accidental death. They need to cross their T's.
What does that mean? He shouldn't have died.
That's what the doctor said.
What doctor?
Leave it, Dan. Ma'am, Mary, we need to get you someplace safe. You need to be home.
I don't want to go home. There's no one there.
There must be someone we can call.
Where's that card the cop gave you, Dan? We could call him and see what we should do.
You know, Mikle always said he wanted to go off just like that. I guess he got his wish.
Well, at least he didn't suffer. That's a good thing, don't you think?
Is it? Yes, I suppose it is.
But the doctor said he shouldn't have died. He did say that.
Clear as day. There wasn't a mark on his body, not even a bump on his head.
Could I talk to you alone a minute, Dan? I think we should call someone and figure out what to do.
Maybe there was a mistake somewhere and they took him instead of me.
Don't say that. There is no they. It's not a pickup and delivery service.
I should be the one who's dead. That's what the EMTs were saying.
Like in that John Travolta movie.
Oh, yeah. No, I know which one you mean. Oh, but it wasn't John Travolta, was it? It was the other actor. He just looks like John Travolta.
I could have sworn it was Travolta.
No, I don't.
I think we should just focus on getting Mary someplace safe. Someplace where someone will take care of her.
No place I can go.
She's got no place to go.
She has a home. She should go home.
Do you want to go home, Mary?
No, I don't want to be there. Please don't make me go there. Michael's there.
Wait, I thought you said they couldn't send him there.
She doesn't mean he's there. It's all of the things that remind her of him. Is that what you mean, Mary?
I don't know what I'll do without him. Taking care of Mikle was my whole life. And it wasn't easy, you know. He wasn't that nice a man. He'd never help a stranger. He never gave to charity. I always wanted to support the Red Cross, but he said they were all thieves.
So I guess we can't call them.
You don't have to go anywhere, Mary. You're going to stay right here with us tonight. Judith, we can fix up Rachel's room for her. That's our daughter, Rachel, Mary. She's away at school. You'd like Rachel.
We didn't have children. Mikle didn't want them. Mikle said that children take up too much space in a person's life. Mikle said they're inconvenient.
Yeah, well, they're a lot to handle.
There aren't any sheets on the bed.
He said they interfered. I wouldn't have minded, but Mikle said no.
Well, Mom sounds like a man who knew his own mind.
Sounds like an asshole to me.
Yeah, we're gonna have children, aren't we, Keith?
Oh, of course we are. I just need to get life more settled.
Oh, maybe once we've bought a house.
Maybe we should talk about this later.
That's what Michael always said about most things,
But people shouldn't talk.
that life was inconvenient.
And we need to talk.
Yeah, I'll help you get the room ready.
Mary doesn't want to sleep in a strange teenage girl's room at a time like this.
Would you like to see a picture of Michael? I brought his picture.
Wow, he's a fine-looking man.
Striking.
I always thought so. He had this portrait done at a mall in Cincinnati. Looks make up for a lot, don't they? You'll accept things in a man who looks like that. And maybe you wouldn't have accepted from a less attractive man.
I have read that good looks are a strong determinant of success of life.
But you need a lovely personality too. A lovely personality can make up for a crooked nose.
Dan, we need some more chips here. Can you help me in the kitchen?
You want a little more whiskey, Mary? Let me pour you a little bit more.
The minute I saw you, I knew you'd be a kind man. Not at all like Michael.
Dan?
We're going to take care of you, Mary. Don't you worry about a thing.
Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing.
At least this feels normal. Of course, normal has taken on a whole new dimension since my husband didn't die.
Oh, Mary was right about one thing. Dan and Keith did know where to send the body. What time do you think they'll be back?
God knows. How long does it take to pick out a casket?
It depends, I suppose.
On what? Your sense of style?
There's that. And how much you have to spend. Oh, God, I hope she has enough money to cover it.
I told Dan not to offer to help with any of that. I even thought about freezing her accounts. Dan can be a soft touch. That's why I asked Keith to go with them. I thought he'd have a level head about something like that.
And he is precise.
I'm so sorry to get you both into all this. Here, all you wanted was someone to walk with on the beach, and you got this instead. Thanks for coming over.
Of course. It's kind of fun. We went from having no friends to speak of to planning a funeral for a man we don't even know.
Last night was intense. I think Dan would have stayed up talking to her all night if I hadn't finally insisted we all get some sleep. He doesn't even talk to his own mother that much.
Oh, it's understandable, I guess. They have a connection, sort of.
I swear to you, Dan has never been like this before. I don't think we've talked about the meaning of life since we were dating. Now that's all he ever wants to talk about.
I'm not sure Keith and I have ever actually talked about the meaning of life. Keith's not much on philosophical discussion.
Now, Dan's talking about selling the house, selling our house, and the meaning of life. Jesus, how is this all happening?
Do you know any more about Mary or about Michael?
I expect Dan does. How? I could hear them chattering away while I cleared up, but I'm not sure I even want to know anymore. This morning, I kept her conversation to asking how she wanted her eggs and whether the sweater she was wearing was going to be warm enough. I mean, there must have been a change of clothing in that bag she had. She said she was planning to go to a hotel after she came here.
Poor thing. I can't believe she has no one.
Apparently, Michael was a loner as well as an asshole. Now she's gone. I should feel sorry for her, but I keep wondering how long this is going to go on. He wants to take her to his gate tonight.
Is that appropriate for the day after her husband died?
Is any of this appropriate? You think Dan was responsible for the accident and not the other way around? I read the accident reports. It wasn't Dan's fault in any way. Michael lost control of the van.
It's strange that they don't know what killed him.
It sounds like he had a heart attack or something.
Or a stroke. Makes you wonder.
Don't start. I don't want to wonder about anything. I just want my dull, old, normal life back.
I don't know how it'd be if Keith suddenly died. I mean, I have family and they're in Ohio. And I'm sure they'd come be with me. And I have some friends from where we were living before, but what good are friends really when someone that close to you dies? At least you have your children.
Well, Rachel's going to have a fit when she finds out Dan's given her a room to marry.
It's not like she's going to be there permanently.
She's put Michael's picture on the bedstead. What if she never leaves?
You read about these things.
Yeah, in a Stephen King novel. I was thinking I might just pack up all her things and then have them down here waiting for her when they get back. You think she'd take the hint?
Oh, God, what would Dan say if you did something like that?
He'd say what he kept saying before he fell asleep last night.
Which was?
It should have been me, Jude. It should have been me.
That is a little creepy.
It's insane. My husband's gone soft. He's gone completely batshit crazy.
Keith will keep them both on track with all this funeral planning business. Keith has a level head.
I know I said I didn't want to know anything more about her, but I tried Googling her and Michael this morning and nothing popped up. Except some Facebook reference to a dog breeder in Kansas.
Well, they didn't really seem like the Facebook type. Not that we really know what Michael's type would have been.
Except that he wasn't a very nice man.
God, she must have loved him, though. She's keeping his picture by the bed?
Maybe to remind herself that he's really gone and she can relax. In my home.
Maybe you should go through her things. I know that wouldn't be very nice, but it might tell you more about who she is and how long she's likely to be here.
I thought about doing that, believe me, but it seems like a terrible thing to do.
I don't know how terrible it would be. After all, she's a stranger whom you've never met before in your life, and now she's sleeping in your daughter's bedroom.
And she's got my husband convinced that he should be dead instead of her husband.
He seemed pretty convinced he should be dead before she got here.
She settled the question once and for all.
Don't you have to dust in that room? Make the bed? Something? That would be the kind thing to do. It would only be normal if you had to move the shopping bag so you could dust.
Who uses a shopping bag if they're going to a hotel?
If she was going to a hotel, she would have used a suitcase. I think you better go look.
You know, you're right. I really should know more about her.
And about this Mikle that she wants you to help bury.
I think I might go up there right now and have a peek.
I'll stand lookout.
Okay, I'll do it. I won't be 5 minutes.
Hello? Oh, Keith, it's you. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I was starting to worry. No. Judith's up. She's somewhere around. The kitchen, I think. You need her? Oh, well, that's good. What? Oh, well, if you think so. Yeah, no, I'll tell Judith. How's Dan doing? Good. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I'll be right here. Yes. Yes, Judith and I are having a good talk.
Oh my God.
What? What? No, sorry. Nothing. Judith just needs me to come to the kitchen and see something. Don't worry. Yeah, bye. Judith, what's wrong?
Look at this.
Oh my goodness. Look at all those bills.
Well, she better not ask Dan to buy the casket.
Oh my God, that's a lot of money.
There are stacks and stacks of $100 bills. There must be thousands and thousands of dollars in here.
Easily. God, she must be stronger than she looks.
Who carries around that much cash in a shopping bag? You put that much money in a bank where the thieves can't get at it.
You have to wonder why she didn't leave it at her house, and she's carrying this around?
She wanted to make sure it was safe, I guess?
From what? Do you think she might have been worried someone else might have come looking for it? Maybe there's a good reason that they don't know why Mikle died. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe he was a really bad man and someone killed him for all of his money.
You mean the mob or Mary?
Well, I don't mean anyone specifically. I just kind of meant someone in a very general way. Maybe someone had it out for him. There are very effective, slow-acting poisons out there.
You think Mary might have poisoned him, don't you? You think I've got a killer sleeping in my daughter's room? We can never know. Of course, if she did, she'd probably just post it online.
We don't know any of this for sure. My imagination has just got away with me.
Well, let your imagination have a go at figuring out what this is.
Oh, well, I mean, that looks like an account ledger.
Oh. Check out what's inside.
It's a list of numbers with dates besides them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of numbers and dates.
What does it mean?
Gosh, Judith, I have no idea. Maybe they're bank accounts or a code, something?
It could. Oh, yeah, a code. Exactly what I thought.
Could also just be random numbers.
Why would anyone keep a bunch of random numbers in a ledger book that you take with you when you flee your house in the middle of the night?
It was only about 8 o'clock when she got here. That's not really middle of the night.
I'm gonna make a copy of this on the scanner on my printer. I'm gonna have to hurry though. They'll be back any minute.
Oh no, they won't actually. I just had Keith on the phone. He says they're taking Mary to lunch. They've got everything sorted out with Michael's body being released once the autopsy's done, and now they're going to have lunch.
Oh, good. That'll give us a little breathing room.
Yeah. Are you gonna tell Dan?
Well, of course I'm gonna tell Dan.
He'll be disappointed. Sounds to me like he and Mary are forming a real bond.
If she thinks she's found another partner in crime, she is mistaken. Dan may be an entertainer, but he has principles. Well, or at least he did before he almost died.
Of course he has principles, and for all we know, this could be honest money that they've saved up. They just don't believe in banks. You know, I had an uncle once who didn't believe in banks.
Who the hell doesn't believe in banks?
We found cash all over his house when he died. He kept it hidden in books.
The first place anyone would look.
Well, actually, we tried the freezer first. He had a lock on it.
Why?
We never knew.
You said they were going to lunch. Where?
Oh, at Alan's.
Jesus! He's taking her down by the beach? That's where he takes me on our anniversary. It's supposed to be our place.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, Keith will be there, and he'll chaperone. We should really count that money. Maybe it's not as much as it looks. Do you have any latex gloves?
What?
Bills. They're germ-laden, you know, and I don't want to leave any fingerprints in case this money is stolen. No sense in complicating our lives.
Good thinking. Have you done this before?
No, I watch a lot of crime shows. I know how all the criminals get caught.
We're not criminals, are we? I have some plastic gloves I wash dishes with. Would they work?
Oh, that'll do. Do you have an extra pair? Where do you keep them?
Under the sink.
Oh, okay. I won't be a tick. Wipe off that stack that you're holding.
Get back. I'm all right, Jack. Keep your hands off of my stack.
Jude, we're back. You two have a seat. I'll put these things in the kitchen.
Put one in the refrigerator right away, will you please, Dan? Fish will go off quick.
Boy, that's some story you told at lunch, Mary.
Which one? Mikle at Sebago Lake or Mikle in Connecticut?
Oh, he got around.
Well, he had to travel for his work. He always came home with a new story.
A raconteur.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like a storyteller. Because he used to tell stories.
Yeah, he could have been making it all up. I'd never know.
I'm sure that's not the case.
You know, he was gone so much, I'll hardly miss him.
Oh, I'm sure that's not true.
You seem to be sure of a lot of things. I'm never all that sure about anything.
You must be tired, Mary. Do you want to go lie down?
Oh, heavens no. I feel just fine.
You were a trooper.
A what?
A trooper. At the funeral home. That can't have been easy.
Oh, but it was. Once we got down to business, there wasn't much to it at all, was there? Someone dies, you think there'd be more to it. I'm glad I decided on cremation. It makes so much more sense. And where's the use of a service? No one would come.
Well, he must have had friends at work.
Mikle worked alone.
Seems sad to not have a service.
He was a very private person.
Oh, maybe someone will contact you after they see the obituary.
Oh, I don't think so. Mikle wouldn't have wanted anything paper.
Well, the funeral director will take care of getting that in the paper. He gave me a form to fill out. I've got it right here. I guess that's why all these things sound the same, I'll help you fill it out.
We don't have to worry about that right now, do we?
It's odd how little our lives add up to. I was thinking about how I'd fill mine out.
But you're not dead.
I could have been. I will be one day.
Oh, we all will.
You two boys need to liven up and not think about such things.
It's hard not to after spending the morning looking at caskets.
I wonder why they don't call them coffins anymore. It seems like a better word. Anyway, looking at all those expensive wooden boxes helped me make up my mind. Thousands of dollars for something you're just going to put in the ground. It makes no sense. Cremation is so much better. A small box and scattered ashes in the wind, much more practical.
Oh, you won't keep them with you?
Oh, heavens no. That'd just give me the willies thinking about Mikle on the mantelpiece. No. I'll scatter him somewhere nice where the birds can peck at his bones.
Excuse me?
Maybe we should fill this out now. When was Mikle born?
When?
Yeah, his date of birth.
Oh, June 15th, I think. We didn't do birthdays much.
What year?
No idea. It's probably at home somewhere. He must have had it on his driver's license. I'll need to go through his papers.
How could you not know?
Mary's in shock, Keith, okay? Let's put this away for now.
He lived in Albuquerque once before we met. He told me that.
A Westerner.
Well, maybe. He was a bit of a cowboy sometimes, roaming the range. He did travel a lot.
You said that, but what did he actually do?
This and that.
You mentioned Cincinnati last night. Did you live in Ohio once? I'm from Ohio.
Oh, I think I will lie down for a while. I need to be rested if we're going out tonight. I am so looking forward to seeing you perform, Dan. It's been a long time since I was in a nightclub.
It's not exactly a nightclub.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be lovely.
She's in shock.
Yeah, so you said.
Do you think she's strange? Judith thinks she's strange.
Well, there's certainly something a little bit off about her, but she did just lose her husband.
I can't shake this feeling like I owe them something. I should have been dead, not Mikle.
Well, there's another way to look at it.
What's that?
Well, old Mikle came awfully darn close to killing you, but he just didn't succeed.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that is another way of seeing things. Your bonbon was right last night. I should be spending more time thinking about what to do with my life. I can't go on like this forever.
Go on like what?
Living like I was some kid waiting for a big break. If I was going to go anywhere with my act, it would have happened by now. I should just accept that, stop thinking I'm going to make it big one day.
Well, Jason said you're pretty popular.
Yeah, around here I am, but I've never made it any further than Hartford or Providence. I've made a few CDs. I sell them at my concerts, but it doesn't go much further than that.
Well, do people come and see you? Do you make any money?
Yeah, I make some money. I'm not a total failure at it, but still, almost being dead, makes you think. I put a performing ahead of Judith, ahead of the kids. I missed taking them around to visit colleges one weekend because I had a $150 gig down in Holyoke, and I've been a terrible husband and father.
Oh, I'm sure you've been a great father. Well, better than I'd be anyway. I'd be a terrible father. I'd be like Mikle. I'd see them as an inconvenience, or else I'd hover so much that I'd make them crazy. I wish my bonbon could just understand that.
I expect she understands more than you think. Judith understands me better than I understand myself. It's probably not that hard to do, come to think about it. I kind of wonder where they are. I thought they'd be here waiting.
Well, maybe they went walking on the beach. That's all Bonnie could talk about last night.
All this talk about what to do with my life kind of makes me a little thirsty. You want a beer from Vermont?
I would love a beer from Vermont. It sounds like our wives are back.
Our wives are back? We have names, you know.
Of course, I didn't mean anything by it. I was
Dan.
he's getting me a beer. Looking at caskets is thirsty work.
How did it go at the funeral home? Where is Mary?
He's having a lie down upstairs.
Did you get a nice casket?
We didn't get one at all. She decided to have him cremated.
That's becoming a popular option these days.
Especially if you don't want anyone coming back and examining the remains.
What do you mean by...
Oh, I'm glad you're back. Where you been? You want a beer too?
I'm good for now. Bonnie, how about you? Are you sure she's sleeping?
Well, I haven't checked on her, but she's probably still awake if you need her.
No, I don't need her at all. She should rest.
Where have you been?
We've been investigating.
Not investigating. Not really. We just thought that we better let Mary's neighbors know that she was all right.
It seemed like the responsible thing to do.
Mary was telling the truth about one thing. None of her neighbors know her or the elusive Mikle.
We've knocked on 6 doors and they all said the same thing.
In 7 years, they've barely even spoken to anyone. They've never even introduced themselves. Not one neighbor even knows what Mikle does for a living.
Did for a living. He's not really doing it anymore.
Right, but whatever he did, he came and went in the middle of the night. His van would be there at night and then be gone in the morning. He'd be away for days at a time.
Well, Mary said he traveled a lot.
But what did he do? No one just travels for a living. They travel someplace in order to do something. None of the neighbors had a clue.
I doubt any of our neighbors know what I do.
Yes, they do.
How would they know what I do? We've only been here a couple months.
I've told them, of course.
When?
When I see them on the street. That nice Mrs. Wilcock walks that dreadful little corgi of hers every day. I told her. And, the Baxters, when I was asking them about lawn services.
I will mow the grass. I told you, I will mow the grass.
Of course you will. But it never hurts to have a name. And it was an excuse to make some friends.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's what people do. They make friends. They hire people to mow their lawns. Bonnie, go listen and see if she's coming. Look, here's what else we found out. Even if they didn't speak with the neighbors, they did have visitors from time to time.
There, they had friends, just not in the neighborhood.
No, those weren't guests. A man would show up late at night sometimes. He'd only stay for a little while. The neighbors noticed this because otherwise it seemed that Mary and Mikle were a couple of recluses. No real contact with the outside world. Well, I mean, I guess I got the paper. There was a paper on the steps.
Oh, did you get it? That's an invitation to thieves.
She can pick it up herself when she goes home.
Yeah, well, that might not be for a few days.
She needs to go home now, Dan. The neighbor said that a police car had been stopping at the house. People have been knocking on the door.
I'll go over there and I'll leave the note on the door. You know, I'm going to call the number they gave me. Mary shouldn't be alone.
She shouldn't be staying here either. You haven't heard the rest of it. You haven't heard.
Oh, no, I think she's coming. I think she's coming.
Don't say we've been at the house.
What are you so worried about?
Shh, be quiet.
So, how was lunch at Allen's? Judith said that they've got the best seafood on the North Shore.
I have always certainly enjoyed it when we've gone there for our anniversary dinner. How nice you took Mary to our special spot, Dan.
Oh, I thought I heard someone come in.
Did you rest at all? It just seemed like you just went up.
I couldn't sleep. Too much in my head. I couldn't settle down.
Here, sit here.
You boys are certainly being lovely to me. You girls too. I've enjoyed being around new people. I don't get a chance to socialize much.
Really?
Can I get you a drink, Mary? Tea? Judith, you could make a tea, couldn't you?
I could. Would you like a cup of tea, Mary?
I hate to be a bother.
Oh, it's no bother at all. Just ask Dan.
No, I think I'll pass on the tea. I'll just sit here and be quiet. I'll be like a mouse on the wall.
Fly.
Excuse me, dear?
It's a fly on the wall. People are quiet like mice. It's a fly on the wall.
Oh.
Bonnie's precise about these things. She gets carried away with it sometimes. Don't you, sweetie?
Flies can be in the ointment. Flies are always buzzing around the ointment and getting trapped. Those pesky flies just crop up everywhere you look.
I should be getting ready for the show. I need to meet Jerry early for the sound check. I'm going to need your car, Jude. He said he would drive the rest of you there later.
We really need to talk about things, Dan. Maybe I can come along and help you set up?
You never helped me before.
Oh, yes, I have. I must once or twice in the beginning.
No, you better stay here and look after Mary.
Well, I don't want to put anybody out.
I just worry that you're missing your home, Mary.
If I never saw that place again, it wouldn't bother me a bit. You'll be here, won't you, Keith?
That's what Dan just said, Mary. Keith's going to look after us all.
I wish someone had been looking after Mikle. I don't suppose I'll ever know what happened.
You'll know more when you get the autopsy reports, but how will they know where to contact you? Hadn't you better check at home?
Oh, I'm going to call that Officer Dolan, that nice Officer Dolan at 4. He'll know what I should do.
Mary's had a tough time already today, Judith. Okay, this can wait.
But won't you need the formal death certificate as soon as possible? Maybe we should call Officer Dolan right now. Oh, do you have the card handy, Mary?
I think I left it upstairs.
I'll go fetch it for you.
Oh, no. He said to call after 4, so that's when I'll call. He clearly said after 4, and I want to do exactly what he wants. The police have their reasons.
That reason does not know.
What?
Nothing, just something I remembered. It's from a quote or something.
We have a book of famous quotes. I leave it in the bathroom.
Where most of them belong, no doubt. I've been wondering, Mary, what exactly did Mikle do for a living?
Why would you want to know that?
Well, I don't. I mean, not really, but I was curious what he was doing on the Linway that time of day. Is that where he worked?
No, Mikle didn't work anywhere in particular. He just traveled.
Yes, but what did he do when he was traveling?
He had lots of contacts.
Was he a salesman?
Oh, I shouldn't think so. Mikle did not have what did you call it last night, dear? A winning personality. I've heard that that's what a person needs to succeed as a salesman. And that would not have been Mikle.
But do you know what he did for a living?
He traveled. That's all I know. He delivered things. Sometimes he picked things up. Perhaps you're right. I should go up and look for Officer Dolan's number so I have it ready. Yes, I think I'll do that right now.
I expect you should.
This actually does seem more and more mysterious.
Yeah, I don't see the mystery here at all, except, why on earth have you all taken up against this poor woman? I think you should start showing a little bit of compassion, Judith. This woman's life's been destroyed.
What life? From what we heard from the neighbors, she rarely left the house. What kind of life is that? You heard her yourself. She doesn't care if she never sees that place again. What does that tell you? Bonnie, stand guard at the door and listen for her coming back. We need to talk.
Whatever her neighbors say, it's not our business to judge. Hell, it's not their business to judge.
You moved her into our daughter's room. You've spent more time with her today than you've spent with me in a month.
That's not true.
Perhaps go home and start getting ready for tonight.
No.
No, Bonnie is a stand guard, and I need someone here to help me make this idiot I'm married to see what's going on.
Well, but that's just it, isn't it? None of us really knows what's going on. Not really.
Sure, everything will be cleared up soon. Mary probably didn't mean all of that about not going back to her house. I mean, why wouldn't you want to go home?
She feels safer here.
Safe from what?
Stand guard.
I think she's in shock.
I just stop saying that. I don't care if she's in shock or not. I want her to leave.
It is strange that she doesn't seem to know what Mikle did with his time.
Or how he earned so much money.
Yeah, how do you know how much money he made?
Tell him, Judith.
I think maybe we should just forget it, Bonnie. Dan has made up his mind that he has to rescue this woman. He doesn't want to hear anything I have to tell him. Maybe after he sells the house, he and Mary can go somewhere new and live off his share of the profits.
Stop acting like this. I can't help feeling sorry for the woman. I'm still in shock myself. I almost died, for Christ's sake. Now that does something to a person.
You need to tell Dan and Keith about the shopping bag.
What shopping bag?
Mary's? What other shopping bag has entered our lives recently?
What about it?
You should tell them, Judith.
You damn well better tell us.
Your tragedy-stricken widow upstairs has over $100,000 stuffed in that bag she brought with her.
You looked in her bag?
Hell yes, I looked in her bag. You bring a perfect stranger into our home.
Explain the funeral home experience.
What about the funeral home experience?
Right, she paid the deposit in cash. She just took out a wad of bills from her purse and counted off $1,000. Most women her age don't carry around that much cash.
You see, Dan, she carries around cash. Who carries around cash? You allow a perfect stranger into our home, you invite her to stay with us, to sleep in our daughter's room, and you don't even think about who she might be? What she might be capable of?
She's got money, so what?
No one walks around with $100,000 in a shopping bag unless there's something wrong with either her or her money. I don't want her staying in our house.
I'm sure there's an explanation.
Of course there's an explanation. Everything has an explanation. The question is whether we really want to hear it.
I do?
Well, it's really any of our business, is it?
I'm standing guard. I helped count. I think it's plenty my business.
On the other hand, here the explanation might obligate us.
Obligate us how?
What if Mikle was some kind of criminal?
You're turning this into some kind of weird murder mystery.
No one said anything about murder. Why did you say murder? What do you think?
I'm not thinking anything. You've got me all worked up here.
She's coming. I heard her door.
So what time do you need to be at the club, Dan?
This is fucking insane.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you play. Should we go home and change?
No, it's pretty informal there. Yeah.
I had a time finding Officer Dolan's card. And then there it was, right at the bottom of my bag.
You can use your phone if you need to. We've got a landline in the kitchen.
I should wait until 4. He said 4. Policemen are very particular about the order of things.
Really? Have you had dealings with them before?
Oh, heavens, no. Just watch shows on the television. I love the CSI reruns in the afternoon. I like to figure out who's guilty before they do, don't you? I know they're only actors and it's only a script, but it makes me happy to beat them to it. Of course, it isn't hard if you pay attention. It's always the one they interview first. Have you ever noticed?
I believe you're right.
They always appear so innocent. But no one really is, are they? And of course, it always turns out that they have a very good reason for what they've done. I'm sometimes quite sorry when they're caught, and they always get caught. It's not real life, is it? In real life, people sometimes get away with their crimes, don't they? Or maybe not. Maybe there's a kind of retribution for us all in the end. Are you churchgoers, Dan? You and Judith?
Not really.
We're Catholic. We go when we have to.
What about you, Bonnie, Keith? Do you worship together?
I grew up Presbyterian, but I seldom go these days.
I thought we should find a church to help us fit in, but I think we're fitting in pretty well without it.
I was quite devout as a girl. I used to pray 2 and 3 times a day, like the Muslims. I would get right down on my knees wherever I was and pray to the Lord God. I didn't have a prayer rug, but I prayed all the same.
I bet you did.
But prayers are for the hopeful, aren't they? Prayers are for people who want something. I know that's not the right way to pray, but it's what we do, don't we? I suppose I should say a few prayers for Mikle. I expect he'll need them. Oh, here now. I've made us all gloomy. I'm so sorry. Mikle always said I was a gloomy guest. I suppose he was right about that. Mikle was right about a lot of things.
You know, I'm beginning to feel as if we know Mikle. You must tell us more.
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell them about Connecticut. Mary told us a funny story about Mikle in Connecticut. Didn't you, Mary?
Connecticut? Did I? Suppose I did. There's so many stories. Oh, I remember there was a man in Connecticut that Mikle had business with. He had a hunting lodge where Mikle stayed sometimes. Odd. You never think about anyone hunting in Connecticut. But Mikle said he and the man would go out sometimes before sunrise and not return until after dark. They seldom caught anything. They liked the hunt, Mikle said, not the kill. Mikle always said he preferred the hunt to the kill.
You did?
That's not the same story you told us before.
Oh, who can keep track? Where is the phone you spoke of, Judith?
It's over the counter in the kitchen. I'll show you.
Oh, I'm sure I can find it myself. Phones, they're seldom good at hiding.
That was weird. Right, like, you have to admit, this is all very weird.
That is not the same story she told us. She told us about a black dog. Mikle saw a ghost dog. She never said anything about a hunting lodge.
Judith,
But
you could be right about Mary. That was all pretty strange.
she has to go.
I can't just ask her to leave, not after helping her pick out a casket.
What does that have to do with anything?
We sort of bonded, you know?
Nobody bonds with a perfect stranger over a casket. She didn't even buy a casket.
Well, I think it would be entirely appropriate to suggest that she return to her house.
The newspapers are piling up.
The police have been to call. Officer Dolan will assist him when he gets there.
Yes.
Officer Dolan will probably think we're all in on this together.
No.
In on what? What are you talking about?
She's got $100,000 in a shopping bag. There's bound to be something criminal going on.
Yeah, We've never seen these people before. He tried to kill me.
What?
He's helped me see this and me almost dying in a completely different light.
Keith can do that. He helps me see things in a different light all the time.
But if you've never met these people, why would he want to kill you?
If? Why do you say if? Of course I've never met these people. What are you suggesting?
That's an interesting idea, isn't it? How can you prove you've never met someone before? It's easy to prove that you have met them. There could be witnesses. People may have seen you on the street or in the mall. Proving that you haven't met them, that'd be really hard.
Let's not worry about that now, Bonnie.
I'm going to see what's taking her so long. I'm going to go ask her to come back here and answer some questions.
Just leave it. You know, this all may resolve itself.
I'm getting her.
I know we don't know each other very well, but I think Judith has the right idea. I didn't like all that hunt and kill business.
Keith abhors violence, don't you?
I wouldn't say I abhor it. Abhor is a very strong word.
I think I did hurt my neck in that crash. Maybe Judith's right. I should probably go get it checked out.
She's gone.
Gone? What are you talking about?
She's not there, and the back door was wide open. I went out and called for her. I thought, I don't know what I thought, but the backyard's empty, the kitchen's empty. She must have left.
You hurt her feelings.
But what about my feelings? You've been hurting my feelings since that goddamn van almost killed you. You said you felt trapped. Maybe I feel trapped. You ever think about that?
Yeah, this isn't the time for this, Judith. We need to go look for Mary. She shouldn't be out there on her own.
She'll be back. She has to come back and get her money.
I think I'm going to go check upstairs.
She must have heard us talking.
I don't think she was ever going to call the police.
Maybe we should call the police.
I think Judith is right. Somebody should check her room.
It's Rachel's room, damn it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I mean, this is actually better than those CSI shows Mary watches. I can't remember who we talked to first, though. How are we going to know who's guilty?
And we're all guilty of something. Isn't that what Mary said?
Ugh.
We're all going to pay.
I don't think that's the healthiest way to be thinking about this right now.
I have to get ready for my gig.
Can't you cancel?
Not now. Wouldn't be right.
Ugh.
What? What's wrong?
Gone. It's all gone. Clothes, cash, shopping bag, ledger.
Well, it's a good thing you copied that.
Ledger? What ledger?
She must have dropped it all out a window. It looks like the screen was pulled back. You'll have to fix it, Dan. The bugs will get in. You know how Rachel is about bugs.
You're worried about bugs? I'm going to go check the kitchen again and then the street. She might have just stepped out for a minute.
I don't know what I'm worried about. Why would I be worried about anything?
I can't believe she just left. I thought she wanted to hear Dan's act.
She didn't care about Dan's act. She was using us. I think that woman just walked into our house to hide and used us to hide from the cops. We let her sleep in our daughter's bed.
Please calm down, Judith.
We should get her some water, Bonnie. Could you get her some water?
I don't want any damn water.
No, you wanted her gone. Now she's gone. Problem solved. Even took the carryout from Alan's with her.
Some of that was mine.
She's a monster.
You should be happy.
I am. I am.
You don't seem very happy. What's wrong?
I guess I was kind of hoping that she'd left the money.
night I was 21 and I called the road my own. I don't know when that road turned onto the road I'm on. Running on empty, running blind, running into the sun, but I'm running behind. Everyone I know, everywhere I go, people need some reason to believe. I don't know about anyone but me. If it takes all night, that'll be alright. If I can get you to smile before I leave. Looking out at the road rushing under my wheels. I don't know how to tell you all just how crazy this life feels. Look around for the friends that I used to turn to pull me through. Looking into their eyes, I see them running too. Running on empty, running wild, running into the sun, but I'm running behind. Honey, you really tripped me. You know the way you look so kind. I'd love to stick around, but I'm running behind. No, you know I don't even know what I'm hoping to find. Running behind, running into the sun, but I'm running behind.
I wish you'd never show me this damn thing.
You're better with numbers than I am?
Yeah, I'm better with numbers that make sense.
It's gotta have purpose. It's gotta mean something.
It doesn't have to mean anything.
Well, if we break the code, it will make sense.
I don't think that there's any code. We just haven't figured out what the numbers mean.
That's what a code is. Oh, we should show it to Keith when they get here tonight. Keith's a numbers kind of guy.
I'm gonna have to go to work tonight.
Call in. Tell them you had a wreck. Tell them your neck is sore.
Was I really in a wreck? It all seems like a dream. I can't claim to be hurt. I didn't even go to the doctor. I did my gig on Saturday.
These things creep up on you. I'm convinced that you did hit your head or something. That would explain why you let that woman into our house.
Yeah, I wonder how she is. You could have made her feel a little bit more welcome. You must have hurt her feelings.
She knew we were catching up on her. She probably could tell I'd been in her bag. You have to admit, Dan, there was something not right about Mary. Mary and her Mikle wore more than a little bit off. For God's sake, Dan, she threw her things out a window.
Hello? Yeah, it's me. Who? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know her. She was staying with us. No, she's not here anymore. She left on Saturday. What? I have no idea. I'm supposed to come down to the station this morning. I could. I'm not sure I can help you out there. What? No, no. We didn't really know them. Well, no, she brought me my phone. It got picked up by mistake. Sure, yeah, I could do that. My wife, I'll have to ask.
Ask what? I'm right here.
Can I get, you do? Oh, well, okay. Yeah, do you have a number where I can reach you? Sure. Okay, sure, yeah, goodbye.
Who was that?
It was that nice officer Dolan Mary told us about.
It was the cops asking about Mary? I knew it. There's something wrong here.
It's not like that. He's just trying to find her.
I knew it. She skipped town.
He hasn't skipped town. She's probably gone to a hotel, like she said.
You should have told him that. Wait, how did he know to call here?
I don't know. He said he got her name from the accident report, and it was a hunch, I guess. He wants to talk to us.
I don't know whether we should tell him about the money or the code. No, we should definitely keep the code to ourselves. He doesn't need to hear about the code.
I should have told him about Keith and Bonnie. He'll need to talk to them.
Leave them out of this. Bonnie would never keep her mouth shut.
We don't have anything to hide. We had nothing to hide. We didn't do anything wrong. We helped a woman who just lost her husband. We did what any decent person would do. If he asks us who was here, we'll have to tell him.
When's he coming?
He's going to get back to me, but I better get down to the station anyway. Until he called, I forgot I was supposed to check in. Maybe I can find something out.
Just don't tell them anything about anything until we've thought this through, until we know what they already know. Maybe I better come with you.
No, I'll be fine. Whatever you think. I'm not totally out of my mind. Actually, I keep telling myself, this is going to be a terrific story for my act.
Yeah, the I should have died bit got a lot of laughs on Saturday. It's weird though. Who laughs at someone who almost died?
It was nervous laughter, like you hear at a funeral. I'd always heard that death was comedy gold. I guess it is.
Hysterical.
Needs a song. Maybe I should write a song. Why aren't you getting ready for work?
I called in. After all, my husband almost died in a car wreck.
Why does that mean you can't go in?
Well, I have to take care of you.
Yeah, well, all you did was make me some coffee.
I have a lot of things to do. I have a coat break. Go call the cops. Or go see the cops.
Jude, are we okay?
What do you mean?
I mean, you hardly spoke to me yesterday.
Well, you needed to rest. I was busy with the code.
I didn't really mean that I felt trapped or that we should sell the house.
Maybe we should.
Really?
No, not really. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Do you still love me, even if I almost died?
Sure, just as much as I would have if you had died.
What does that mean?
Maybe I need a song too. Go see the cops and then you can write me a song.
I think maybe I'll call in too. My neck is kind of sore. I don't really feel like doing any inventory tonight.
It'll sound better if I call them. I'll say you're on your way to the doctor.
That wouldn't be true.
That's why I should call it in. I'm a better liar than you are.
Yeah, there is that.
Get dressed.
Let's give them something to talk about, babe. A little mystery to figure out. Let's give them something to talk about. How about...
I give up. This is impossible.
It can't be impossible. Someone wrote this down. It means something.
Does everything you write down make sense?
It does to me.
Ugh, well, this probably makes sense to Mary or Mikle, but It will probably never make sense to anyone else.
If someone figured out hieroglyphics, we can figure this out.
They had a key.
We'll find a key.
Maybe we should feed it into a computer. That always works on TV.
You know how to do that?
No. Isn't that the computer's job?
I mean, he's probably staring us right in the face.
I don't know. Does it have to mean something? Until you have more information, it just is what it is.
Why couldn't that damn Mikle have tried to kill someone else?
Ugh, life is random.
Oh, I'm starting to sound like Dan now. Looking for cosmic order, looking for reasons.
Keith likes reasons. Knowing the reason for things makes Keith happy. Maybe knowing all the answers would make all of us happy. Unless we didn't like them. Then we'd be sad.
Thanks for coming over. I was going nuts here. At least with you here, I'm not going nuts by myself. Does Keith know where you are? What does he really make of all this?
I'm not sure. He likes puzzles, though. I texted him to come here straight from work.
Oh, good. We need someone who believes in reason. If reason even applies to the world of Mary and Mikle. I wish Dan would come home. It's been hours since he left. I don't know why he hasn't called.
I mean, you could call him.
Well, if he's still with the cops, they probably wouldn't let him take calls.
It's just checking up on an accident report. It shouldn't have taken that long.
Well, he was going to try and find out what they knew about Mary and Mikle, too. That probably took up some time. I told him not to ask too much in case they got suspicious about why he was asking.
That can't be Keith. He wouldn't have left work yet.
Can't be Dan. He's got my keys.
Oh, maybe it's Mary. Maybe Mary's come back.
Crap. I should answer it.
Do you want me to?
I'll go.
Thank you for seeing me.
Oh, did Dan talk to you? He said he was going to talk to you.
Dan's your husband, right? Sure. We talked a bit. I think he went to the city garage to look at his car. That's where he said he was going.
Oh, there's something left to look at? Oh, this is my friend Bonnie Shepherd.
Pleased to meet you.
She knows all about Mary.
Really?
I wouldn't say I know all about Mary.
Well, none of us really knew much about Mary.
Oh, but she was staying at your house?
Just the one night. Dan took her in. She seems so alone.
Totally alone.
I'm still not really clear on why she was here if you don't know her.
Didn't Dan tell you? She was returning his phone.
Well, he said that, but it still doesn't make sense about why she had your husband's phone.
She said it was in her husband's things from the hospital. It must have gotten picked up by someone at the scene of the wreck.
I guess that could make sense.
Why wouldn't it make sense? It's what happened.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get a clear picture of your relationship with Mrs. Lowe.
Who? Oh, right. You mean Mary.
Yes, Mrs. Lowe. The woman whose husband died in the accident. The woman who spent the night at your house. The woman we're trying to track down.
Well, there you have it. If she told me her last name, I'd forgotten it already. Dan must have known. It would have been on the insurance papers, I think.
Even if you forgot it, it would have come up at the funeral home.
Funeral home?
Yeah, when you went there with Mary.
Why was he at the funeral home with Mrs. Lowe?
Oh, he and Keith went to help Mary pick out a casket.
Who's Keith?
Oh, my husband, Keith. He was here with me the night Mary came. We were all having drinks.
And snacks. I mean snacks.
Oh, those spinach balls were delicious. I actually meant to ask you for the recipe.
Yeah.
Why would your husband be helping her pick out a casket?
Well, they didn't. Well, I mean, they went there to pick out a casket, but Mary changed her mind.
Yep, she decided on cremation.
Less fuss.
Fuss? I suppose, but why were they with her if you really didn't know the woman?
Well, it was all happening so fast. Like we said, she seems so alone.
Completely alone.
So you took a stranger into your home and helped her plan a funeral? It was certainly kind of you.
I don't really think we'd gotten to the funeral planning stage yet.
It was Dan who took her in. He felt like he should. He felt guilty that he didn't die and Mikle did.
Was there some reason he should have died instead of Mikle?
No, not at all. That's what's so upsetting. You have a close call like that and you walk away without a scratch. It's upsetting. You look for answers.
You look for order. It makes you think.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Mrs. Lowe shows up on your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband feels guilty. So you take her in and help her plan a funeral, all to restore order in the universe.
Well, it sounds crazy when you say it like that, but in a way that's exactly what it was. But like Bonnie said, it never got as far as actually planning the funeral. She left.
She disappeared.
Disappeared? How?
Well, she went into the kitchen to make a cup. Oh, she was calling you. But she didn't come back in. And when we went to look for her,
She was gone.
yeah.
What about her things?
Her things?
Well, she must have had some things with her.
She was wearing her nightgown when she got here. She hadn't had time to get dressed, but she had a change of clothes and a shopping bag.
And a picture of Mikle.
Her husband?
Yes, it was a studio portrait. Really nice.
Oh, wait!
What?
The picture, I think she left it here. I think it's still up in, by Mary's bed. Or Rachel's bed, excuse me.
Well, who's Rachel?
My daughter, Mary was staying in Rachel's room. I'm gonna go up there and check.
Okay. So, you investigate accidents.
Sometimes,
It was an accident, wasn't it?
as far as we can tell.
Seemed awfully random to just be an accident.
Excuse me?
But I suppose that's what makes it an accident.
Yes, I suppose it does.
It's nice that you're being so thorough.
Follow up. It's essential.
Yeah.
She must have forgotten it.
Oh, so she must be coming back.
Maybe.
It's funny, though.
What's funny?
It kind of looks like one of those pictures that come with the frame when you buy it.
It does, doesn't it?
I should take this with me.
Oh, why? If she's coming back, she'll expect us to be here.
Well, it could help with our investigation.
So you are investigating.
Like I said, we want to be thorough. So she had everything else with her when she went into the kitchen to make a call? Didn't you think that was unusual?
No, well...
We think she must have dropped all of her stuff out the window.
Well, we don't know that for sure. She could have left them on the back step.
Yeah.
When would she have done that?
I have no idea. We weren't following her around the house.
No.
So you weren't suspicious of Mrs. Lowe?
Well,
Not suspicious. Not really. I just wasn't very happy that she was here. I thought it was weird. I thought she was weird.
she was weird. In an oddly conventional sort of way.
What does that mean? Tell me what you mean by weird.
All right, well, we told you she showed up in her nightdress on our doorstep with her things in a shopping bag. I'd say that was weird.
And she didn't act like someone who had just lost her husband.
Yeah.
When it came down to it, she didn't seem to have liked him very much at all.
Mikle sounded like an altogether unlikable man.
Not to speak ill of the dead.
She did.
Well, what did she say?
Didn't like the Red Cross.
He didn't like children.
He went away on business trips, but she didn't seem to know what he did for a living. It's hard to say why it was weird. It just was.
Yeah.
Well, we'd certainly like to talk to Mrs. Lowe.
Why?
We need to clear up a few things so we can close the case.
Case? Isn't it just a traffic accident?
File. We'd like to close the file.
I'd like to clear up a few things myself. How did Mikle die, for instance? Can you tell us that?
Well, it hasn't been released to the public yet, but I don't suppose it would hurt. The pathologist said he had a heart attack. He was dead in seconds. Unfortunately, he was doing about 50 when it happened. Your husband is very lucky to be alive.
He keeps telling us that.
We'll probably want to talk to you again.
Me too?
You too. But I think this will do it for now. You've been most helpful.
I'll show you out.
Of course, if you think of anything else, or if Mary shows up again, you'll let us know? Here's my card.
Oh, Mary had your card. Like I said, she was going to call you just before she disappeared.
She never called me.
She was too busy disappearing.
I would really like to talk to her.
If she comes back, we'll let you know.
Excellent.
Did he say anything else?
Just said again for us to call if Mary shows up.
You didn't mention the money.
No, thank you for not bringing it up.
I was taking my cues from you. What if Dan mentioned the money?
He won't. He doesn't want to get Mary in trouble. So, he'll still think he owes her something for being alive.
You didn't say anything about the code either.
They'd take it away from me. They'd solve it first and then never tell us.
He said they'd let us know what happened.
No, he said he'd probably be talking to us again. He never said he'd tell us anything.
But aren't we?
Never tell you what they know.
Then we're obstructing justice?
No, you watch too many crime shows. Screw them and their justice. I just want to know the truth.
But
I'm going to solve that crime, that code. Now, where is it?
It's under the Better Homes and Gardens.
You knew I wasn't going to tell him.
I didn't even know it was the police at the door.
Wolves.
Wolves?
It's always wolves at the door. This guy was a wolf. Mary was a wolf. Mikle was a wolf.
He wasn't at the door.
I wouldn't let him in if he was. From now on, I'm not letting any more wolves in. Not just yet. Not until I figure out what these damn numbers mean.
Every breath you take, and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
He should have gotten here by now.
Dan's had another wreck. I just know it. If he's totaled my car, we're screwed.
He hasn't had another wreck. That would be too much of a coincidence.
It's all a coincidence, isn't it? Incidents coincide. A thing happens. Something else happens. People see patterns.
You're tired. You've been code breaking for too long.
My eyes hurt.
Oh, God, I shouldn't have had that third glass of wine.
We should go walk on the beach. Only in our heads.
Keith will worry.
Dan's probably dead.
You shouldn't say things like that.
Of course, there's a 300,000 I stand to collect.
Don't joke.
He's the comic.
Good. That sounds like Keith.
And Dan.
So he's not dead.
Why are they together? Why are you together?
Yeah.
I called Keith to come meet me.
She's been.
Is something wrong with my car? Did you have another wreck?
No, why would you think that?
She's been worried. You almost died.
Officer Dolan was here asking questions. We didn't know what to think.
Or say. Keith, you didn't tell me you were going to meet Dan.
I wasn't. When I talked to you, he called just as I got off that 128. Good thing, too, I could pull over and call.
Yeah, I wanted to get his opinion before we came home.
Yeah, so I met him at Blue Moon.
Sure. You had a couple beers?
Mm-hmm.
Couple, no worries. We parked the cars, we walked home, gave us plenty of time to talk.
Yeah, and now Bonnie can drive us and we'll pick up the cars.
Bonnie's had 3 glasses of wine. They're gonna have to stay there all night.
Look, we need both of you to be thinking straight. We have to solve this code.
Oh, well, I think Keith's done that already.
What?
We have the code here. How could he figure it out? Oh,
Well,
How can he figure it out?
now I took some sheets I was working on. I thought I need something to do while I was waiting for the cops.
You didn't tell them anything.
No, I figured it might be a good idea not to say too much about it. They kept asking about Mary, but I told them the basics. But then, later, once I showed the numbers to Keith, it all made sense.
Yeah, you had to look at the problem differently. Where are your copies?
Yeah.
Well, do you have a scrap of paper? I mean, oh, all right. I'll use this one, okay?
We tried every permutation we could think of.
Well, it's not a code. You see? Right here. Now, you were thinking that this dash was a dash.
I almost always think a dash is a dash.
Well, it's not. It's a minus sign. You see, this is 42.652579, and this is minus 73.756232.
Okay.
It's brilliant is what it is. He's brilliant.
I still don't get it.
It's latitude and longitude.
All the numbers are places. We just have to look them up. Keith says there's a Google app. We just plug in the numbers, tells you where you are or where you would be.
So the numbers are the places. So why the dates?
Mikle must have been there on those dates. He was keeping a record. Or Mary, we don't know which.
Well, there must have been where, yeah, he was traveling on those dates. You see there, the one I just read off, that's Albany, New York.
So he was probably just delivering something.
It had to be more than that. Why make it so hard to figure out? Why not just write down Albany, New York? If I had to go to Albany, I'd put it in the GPS or I'd Google it. No one ever thinks about latitude and longitude. Well, maybe if you were sailing or something.
Well, the dates are sequential, but the weeks and the months are sometimes several months apart, but these coordinates are all over the place. There's not a single straight line between two spots. Well, there's always a straight line between two spots, but time-wise, these are erratic. And it looks to me like they're erratic. Well, in June, you have him going to Albany, and then in October, you have him going to Portland, Maine.
I have to tell you what I found at the city garage. That's why I called Keith. After I looked at my car, I asked the guy running the place about Michael's van. I was curious about how much damage there was.
Well, there couldn't have been much damage if he shouldn't have died.
That's what I thought. But the guy I asked said it wasn't there anymore. He said the cops impounded it. Boston showed up and took the van away. What do you think of that?
He was trying to kill you.
It's obvious they think Mikle was guilty of some crime, and now they're going over the van with a fine-tooth comb.
We think all those dates and places are drug deliveries.
And they have drug-detecting dogs. There will be traces left behind in the van. The dogs will sniff it out.
Do you think Mary knew?
She had to have known something. That's why she had to leave the house. And that's why she took the ledger with her. Why she ran away from here once we started asking so many questions.
I don't think he was just dropping off drugs. You don't make that kind of money dropping off drugs.
Well, maybe he was a dealer. Maybe he and Mary were cooking up meth in their basement.
Oh.
I bet the cops are scouring their house right now.
The neighbors would have smelled it.
Bonnie knows these things. She watches CSI just like Mary.
He wasn't dealing drugs. You know what I think? I think he was a hitman. I think he was killing people all over New England. He was driving a white van, for God's sakes. What more proof do you need?
Well, some of these places are pretty far south of New England. There's some in Virginia and some in North Carolina.
So he was killing people all over the East Coast. It's the only thing that makes sense.
I don't think any damn part of this makes sense.
You just have to find the patterns, Dan. You're the one who believes in cosmic plans.
We should tell the police.
I bet if we Google these places and dates, we'll find that there were mysterious killings and disappearances reported at the same time.
Why would he keep a record of it?
Well, maybe Mary did it. Maybe that was her leverage if he ever decided to do her in.
I think she must have known. Remember her telling us about all that hunt and kill business in Connecticut?
Yeah, Bonnie's right. We had best turn this over to the police.
Like hell we are.
He's right. We should let them handle it.
Yeah, the most you'd get is a stern reprimand.
It's too late. We should have told them right away. It is too late for a stern reprimand. They'll find a way to charge us with something.
Well, technically, they won't charge Bonnie and I with anything. You hid the codes.
Actually, Keith, I hid the code under the Better Homes and Gardens, and when Officer Dolan was here, and I'm just as guilty as Judith.
We're none of us guilty of anything. We're simply doing the right thing.
Right.
How is any of this the right thing?
You're the one who wanted to take care of Mary. This is us taking care of Mary.
Yeah, well, I haven't felt the same way about Mary since she ran out on us. She didn't even stay for my show.
She should have stayed for Dan's show.
You know, I've been thinking about your act, Dan. You're pretty good, you know. I don't know what I was expecting, but the show was good. Really.
Yeah?
Yeah, you need an agent. I mean, you're too talented to just be doing local bars.
Back to topic here. We need to start looking up these longitudinal things.
Coordinates. We need to check the coordinates.
You know, I was always thinking about getting an agent.
Oh, and cross-reference them with unsolved crimes.
Oh, I can do that on my phone.
And I'll get my laptop.
We should each take a sheet and start looking.
I really should do more out-of-town gigs.
Dan, what you should do is go make some coffee. You could be thinking about getting an agent while you do it.
Whoa, look, I already got something in Schenectady. Oh my God, 2 bodies in a ditch.
Oh, Dan, what's wrong? Why are you just sitting there?
2 days ago, I should have been dead. Now I'm talking about getting an agent, making coffee while we search for murder victims. The weird thing is all this seems right somehow.
Dan, just make the coffee.
Yeah, right. Coffee.
I got one in Tom's River.
Oh. Keith. Keith. Keith, you need to wake up now, sweetie. You'll be late for work.
What? Why? Oh my God. When did I fall asleep?
I have no idea. I went home around 3. Got you some fresh clothes. Then Judith and I picked up the cars. And we went for a nice walk on the beach.
Did you sleep at all?
I can sleep anytime.
Maybe I'll call in.
Keith, you never call in.
Well, I've never been hunting a criminal before. Unless you count tracking down someone who's committed insurance fraud. I guess that counts.
It sure does, sweetheart. It's why you're so good at this now.
Damn, I haven't slept on the couch in a while.
Should have come to bed when I told you.
How are you so damn perky? And where'd you get the rolls?
I went to Patsy's.
We stopped there on our walk back from the beach. We saw the sunrise over the ocean. Oh, it was breathtaking.
Sunrise? What the hell time is it?
It's almost 8.
Oh, I have to get dressed. I have to go to work.
Call in.
Keith never calls in.
I might.
What?
I don't really have that much going on. I might just call him and tell him I'm not coming in. I don't feel well.
Yeah. Sounds like an excellent plan.
I should brush my teeth first. Did you bring my toothbrush, Bonnie?
Yes, I did.
Why do you need to brush your teeth? You're just calling them.
I will feel better about myself if I have clean teeth while I'm lying straight through them.
God, I think this whole business has been really good for Keith. I've never seen him behave so recklessly.
Really? This is reckless?
For Keith, it is. Keith is a very methodical person. Well, you probably noticed that. It's been really good for him to get outside his comfort zone.
Well, we're certainly outside somebody's comfort zone.
Yeah, I'm having some second thoughts
About what?
about how we spent last night. Jesus, not just last night. What, 3-4 days? I've lost track of time. Ever since my accident, everything's been different.
You're the one that started it.
I know. I was in shock.
You should have died. That's what you kept going on about.
Yeah.
You brought Mary into our lives. You brought Mikle.
And his murderous ways, we would have never known.
Well, we're actually still kind of far from proving that he actually killed anyone.
That was quick. You usually take much longer to brush.
It's okay. I didn't floss. I'm fine. What's going on?
Dan's having second thoughts.
He completely disrupts our lives, and now he's got second thoughts.
Look, I know this has been huge, and maybe it's too late, but I just don't know what this is we should be doing with ourselves right now. I mean, look how we spent the last 12 hours, tracing missing persons, looking for unclaimed bodies. Maybe all those people are
17.
What?
We found 3 definite and 14 possible victims. That's 17 in all.
Yeah, we don't know what we found. Bodies show up all the time. Could be a coincidence.
Bodies don't just show up all the time. Tell me one body that has ever just shown up.
And what the hell are we going to say or do about any of it? Are we just going to go march into the police station with our theories? And anyway, don't you think the cops are already on this? His van. Why else would they have taken his van?
They don't have the code.
Coordinates.
They're operating in the dark.
They'll come for us. They know we know something. They spent the night with us.
You and Keith helped her find a funeral home. You helped her pick out a coffin. Even if she decided not to get one, you still helped.
Yeah, I've been out of my head. Maybe I did get banged up in the accident. I wanted to sell our house, for Christ's sake. I dragged Mary into our lives. I'm afraid Judith's going to want a divorce. You want a divorce now, Jude? You going to leave me?
Leave you? No, not over this. We can't stop. This is the most interested in anything I've been in for a long, long time. Mary and the murderous Mikle have given us purpose. They've given us new energy. It may have not been a bad thing after all. But a man who almost died must surely see that.
Life works in mysterious ways.
What do you mean, not over this? Over what? You were thinking of leaving me before? I thought we were good.
Don't worry about it. Wives periodically consider leaving their husbands. It's a normal part of marriage.
I think it's God who works in mysterious ways.
God, really?
Do you ever think about leaving me?
Oh, Jesus. Who's that?
Maybe Mary's back. Oh, I hope it is. In a strange way, I kind of miss her.
Well, somebody should get it. Do you want me to get it?
I'll get it. We have to get it.
I'm not going.
I will. Okay? I'm going.
It's awfully early for somebody to be at the door.
Oh God, I should probably get all of this stuff out of the way.
I should probably open a window. It's like a bunch of feral foxes spent the night in here.
I find that offensive, Judith.
Aren't all foxes feral?
Well, look who was just outside on our doorstep.
Sorry to intrude. It looks like you folks are having a party.
Oh, just a little coffee grab. Bonnie and I have been walking on the beach. Ooh. Have a croissant, why don't you? Have 2.
Coffee? I'm sure there's coffee left, or...
I'm fine, thanks. I just wanted to tie up a few loose ends. Bring you folks up to speed. I'm sure this won't take long.
Well, I'll see if there's some coffee. I wouldn't mind another cup. Anybody else?
Oh, I'd like some, sure. Yeah. Do you need some help?
No, you just stay there. Take care of Officer Dolan.
It's detective, actually.
What is?
My rank is detective, not officer.
Oh, Mary always called you Officer Dolan.
Always?
Oh, well, in the limited time that we knew her, she referred to you as It doesn't matter. Obviously, she was mistaken.
So, have you found her? Have you found Mary?
No, not yet. We have a few leads.
Leads?
Lines of inquiry.
Really? Anything you can tell us?
Well, actually, that's one of the reasons I'm here.
Oh, you're going to fill us in?
You're one of those lines.
Me?
You too, Mrs. Shepherd.
Really? What?
I think you must be mistaken, Detective. My wife barely knew the woman, and none of us did.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. Could you explain to me, Mrs. Gallagher, why you and Mrs. Shepherd were going around Mrs. Lowe's neighborhood and asking so many questions? We were doing our own interviews and turned out that everywhere we went, you'd been there first. Before Mrs. Lowe even went missing. Why was that?
Well, yes, we did go ask a few questions.
You asked a lot of questions. Some of the neighbors said they found you annoying.
Annoying? Oh, we were hardly annoying, were we, Bonnie?
We were worried about Mary.
My wife is a worrier. You should just let Detective Dolan get on with his questions, Bonnie.
He wants to know why we were there, and I'm trying to tell him. We told you before how she seemed so alone. We wanted to help.
We wanted to find out if she had any relatives or friends we could contact.
Judith and Bonnie were just trying to establish whether or not she had a support system.
Yes, you need a support system in times of loss.
We wanted to see if maybe her neighbors could help.
And could they?
Well, it seems they didn't know her much better than we did.
Yes, you say you hardly knew her. I don't understand why you were so concerned.
Well, she was camping out at our house, and to be honest, I thought she was taking advantage of Dan's good nature.
How do you like your coffee, Officer Dolan?
It's Detective Dolan, darling.
Darling?
Mary was mistaken about his rank.
Well, how do you like your coffee, Detective Dolan?
I don't really care for any coffee. Thank you.
But Dan just made a fresh pot.
No, there's still coffee left over there, but I could make a fresh pot if you'd like.
See, that's what Dan does, you see. He takes care of people. He's a man who was in a dreadful car crash only a few days ago when everyone said he should have died. And what does he do? He makes coffee for company. That's why I was suspicious of Mary.
Really? Suspicious? But you said before that you weren't suspicious.
Maybe suspicious is too strong a word.
Have I missed something?
Detective Dolan wanted to know why we were talking to Mary's neighbors, and I was telling him how I was afraid he was taking advantage, or how she was taking advantage of you.
She wasn't, not really.
No, she knew Dan felt guilty because he lived and Mikle died. She seemed to be playing on that. We just wanted to know a little more about her.
Well, you were asking quite specific questions. For instance, you were asking about where they had moved from, Michael's line of work.
Well, that's where their friends would be, isn't it? Their family, their place of employment.
Is there something more you were concerned about? I mean, do you know anything about these people that we don't?
Oh,
We wondered.
we thought that.
She was strange, all right? I told you that before. When it came down to it, she really didn't seem all that bothered about her husband's death.
Look, officer, detective, whatever. I was in a bad way. I was upset from the wreck, okay? I told you that all down at the station. Judith was upset on my behalf. I probably shouldn't have invited Mary to stay with us, but you know, she seemed so pathetic. She showed up at our doorstep in her nightgown, for God's sake.
Yeah, Dan's right. She was a pathetic figure. And what I don't understand is, why are you asking them all these questions? It was just a simple traffic accident, wasn't it? Are you suggesting there's something more?
Are you their lawyer?
Whose lawyer?
The Gallaghers.
Huh. Well, no.
So what's your interest here?
I'm their healthcare consultant.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you have their best interests at heart, But all I want to do is find Mary Lowe and ask her some questions. If any of you know anything that could help us, you need to speak up now.
Can't you just leave her alone? Her husband just died. She needs some time to grieve. I'm sure she'll be back soon to answer all your questions.
I'm not so sure about that. See, one thing that has become very obvious to us in our investigation is that Mary and Mikle Lowe don't exist.
What are you talking about? Of course they exist. We met them. Well, we met Mary. I suppose you could say that in a way I met Mikle, but yeah, well, not really.
We saw them. Well, we saw her. But of course she exists.
Before they moved here a few years ago, there is no record of a Mikle or a Mary Lowe in any database we can find. We're running Michael's DNA, but that will take a while, and I don't have high hopes of tracing him that way either.
I thought computer technology had made that kind of thing impossible.
I'm afraid that computer technology has made disappearing even easier.
Mary didn't seem like someone who knew a great deal about computers.
Well, she knew how to destroy the motherboard and the computer in her house before she wiped down every surface in the place to get rid of fingerprints and DNA. We'd like to bring our tech people in here to go over your daughter's room.
I've cleaned it since Mary left. I didn't want It's our daughter's room. Do you have to?
There's something wrong about Mary and Mikle Lowe, and I intend to find out what it is. I'll be going now, but our technicians will be back in touch. Please don't go into that room until then. I'll find my own way out.
Oh.
This was on the front step.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea. The delivery guy was just driving away when Dolan and I got out the door.
You should have rung the bell.
I haven't ordered anything. Did you order something?
Why would I order anything? You take care of all that.
Pretty big box.
Well, if we didn't order anything, we should send it back.
You know, there's no return address.
What did Dolan think?
I don't know. He saw it though. How could he miss not seeing it?
Did he say anything?
No, he just looked at it. Then he looked at me and I said, Judith's probably spending money again. And I picked it up and I came back inside.
Do you think he's gone?
He'll be back with his technicians, crawling all over my house with their brushes and their powders. We should sell this place, Dan. I don't think I want to live here after all this.
Shouldn't make life-altering decisions in a moment of crisis.
When the fuck else are you going to make them?
Judith.
When I can't say fuck. You say fuck all the time.
Look, we're gonna have to tell Dolan the truth. Don't you think?
I don't know. Maybe eventually.
How much trouble do you think we'll be in?
Obstruction of justice? That depends. The law is tricky about all that. I mean, if we make a clean breast of it, we should be okay.
Well, our healthcare consultant should know.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Maybe we shouldn't say anything. They're the police. They'll figure it out.
We be letting a murderer get away with it.
We don't know that he's a murderer or was a murderer. He's dead, remember? He's already gotten away with it.
We be letting Mary get away with it.
With what? We don't know that she knew anything. If there was anything to know, and even if she did, maybe she couldn't do anything about it. Maybe she was afraid.
Oh.
I bet anything that she knew exactly what she was doing.
She had the coordinates. She kept a record. She had to know something.
What about the box? We should open the box. How heavy is it?
It's fairly heavy.
Open it.
Now?
Now! Open it.
Well,
Oh,
at least we know where Mikle is.
we are not keeping that thing in our house.
Isn't there a note or something? A receipt?
Oh, it's from the funeral home. It's addressed to Dan.
Are funeral homes allowed to just dump a person's ashes off on someone else's porch?
Read it.
Dear Mr. Gallagher, Mrs. Lowe left us instructions to cremate her late husband upon receipt of his body and deliver the cremains to you. She said you would know what to do with them. She also said to have the words inscribed on the urn. Mikle Lowe, he touched the lives of so many. 45.724140 minus 69.9943369. We have done so. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Sincerely, Robert Donahue, Donahue's Funeral Home. Jesus, what the hell do I know what to do?
Oh, my mother always said Bobby Donahue was a crook.
Mikle Lowe isn't even his real name.
What am I supposed to do with him?
Oh, we should scatter them somewhere nice where the birds can peck at his bones. Seems fitting.
Birds can do what?
That's what Mary said she wanted.
When did she say that?
When we got back from lunch after the funeral home.
Yeah, she was in shock. She didn't mean it.
Will you stop saying it? Stop talking about being in shock. She was as much of a maniac as her husband. They were both murdering maniacs. Oh, still, it's crazy, but I know what Bonnie meant before. I miss her too.
Bailey Island.
What?
The numbers on the urn, they're coordinates for someplace in Bailey Island. It's in Maine. Maybe she wants us to go there.
Maine's a death trap.
Maybe she wants us to scatter him there.
Sounds about as reasonable as anything else that's happened since Dan almost died and Mary walked into our lives.
Maybe she's left us something to find there.
Like what?
I don't know.
She must have known that we'd look at the ledger and that we would figure it out. It's obvious. She wants us to go there.
Oh, maybe she's hidden the money there.
And maybe it's a trick and she'll find a way to kill us and dump our bodies in the sea.
It's a possibility. What about Officer Dolan? We should tell him.
Active. Dolan can find his own damn coordinates. Bonnie wanted to go to Maine. Let's go to Maine.
Wait, no. We need to tell the police.
Why?
Why? Because Dan's right. This could be dangerous, and because it's the right thing to do. This has gone too far.
I've been doing the right thing most of my life, and frankly, it hasn't turned out all that well.
Jude.
I'm just saying that what you've been saying since the accident. We need to take stock. We need to reevaluate our coordinates. We can tell the police when we get back from Maine.
We can't just pack up and go to Maine. We need to be rational about this. We need to make a list. We have to have a plan.
No plans. No, I'm sick of plans. I'm sick of lists. All you do is make lists.
I don't make that many lists.
You post them on the bathroom mirror.
Yeah, that way you won't miss them.
When you leave for work, I tear them off and rip them up.
You do? I thought you liked my lists.
Not every damn day. For God's sakes, Keith. What are all those damn coordinates if not a list of some kind? Do you want to end up like Mary?
I don't think that's fair.
Maybe not. But that's how I feel. And right now, we are going to Maine. No plans, no lists. Understand? Dan, Judith, is that okay with you?
I don't know. Maybe we can be careful.
We need to go to Maine.
Shouldn't make so many lists.
Maybe we all needed something like this to wake us up. You know, Judith, whatever you said, I think there is some cosmic force at work here, but it's not serious and it's not terrible. Actually, it's kind of fun. It's like an adventure. Turns out I like being alive.
Damn sight better than being dead.
Well, what if Detective Dolan follows us? He's probably waiting outside in a black SUV just in case we make a run for it.
Well, then he can lurk in the bushes and save us if Mary tries to do us in. We can say we knew he was there all along, and this was our ruse to trick Mary out of hiding.
It's kind of a perfect plan. I know, no plans.
It's like Mary and Mikle have given us something to make up for everything that they've taken away. If they actually were criminals, that is.
To Mikle and Mary and Maine.
To not always needing a plan.
To the search for murdering maniacs everywhere.
And not being dead.